in a vision, yeah. Like a beacon in the dark, yeah. Said I'll show you the pathway to wisdom, oh. And your light is where it starts, yeah. And I say, hey, turn on my light, yeah. And I say, hey, turn on my light, yeah. And I say, hey, turn on my light, turn on my light, turn on my light, yeah. He said humankind is not evil, no. But I said, what about the wars? Hey. He said that serves his purpose. Oh. That was theirs, but what is yours? Hey. And I say, hey, turn on my light. Hey. And I say, hey, turn on my light. Hey. And I say, hey, turn on my light, turn on my light, turn on my light. Yeah. Turn it on today. Please turn it in the present. Turn it on today. Please turn it in the present. Hey. And I say, when I turn on your light, you're gonna release your story. Your story. And he said, when I turn on your light, you won't be able to ignore it. Ignore it. And he said, when I turn on your light, your truth shall be free. Shall be free. And he said, when I turn on your light, you'll see that you're actually me. You're actually me, yeah. And I say, hey, turn on my light, hey. And I say, hey, turn on my light, hey. And I say, hey, turn on my light, turn on my light, turn on my light. Yeah.
Love that song.
Light.
Yeah, turn on my light. Oh, sister. Oh, yes, indeed.
Wow. What an opening. What an opening. I felt that light even more activate now that your song of heart was shared. Thank you for that.
Beautiful. Thank you, sister. Oh, so good to be here. So good to be with your radiant light, dance of liberation, goddess, queen. Just here representing and being on this Rythmia network or outlet. I'm just so pleased and so thankful to be here with everybody here.
Likewise.
Yeah, beautiful.
Wow. Well, Meika and Kaleo, I feel like our contracts have gone back lifetimes, and we met 4 years ago, and ever since then, somehow, energetically and even physically, we've danced into each other's lives.
Yes. Truth.
Yes.
Truly. Yeah.
And I'm reminded actually how, Meika, you and I met for the first time 4 years ago at Rythmia, and we had that sisterhood bond, that connection.
Oh, absolutely.
And then we actually in Los Angeles, if you remember, the both of you, we bumped into each other, and I think it was Marina Del Rey at a restaurant.
Yes, it was a restaurant in Marina Del Rey. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I totally remember that. Exactly.
Love it.
And I'll never forget, because Kaleo, we hadn't met at Rythmia because Meika, you took that journey of self-discovery on your own.
Yes. Solo mission. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And so when I saw the two of you together, I was just like, that is the force of nature of two powerful soulmates.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Yes.
So inspiring, so beautiful. And so on that note of soulmates, I know that both of you have gone through a major collective and individual journey. It's been a 22-year journey of this path of being together. And so let's track back. One of the things that you shared prior to us coming on here is, Kaleo, you said, I love this, that Meika was and is your drug of choice.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Wow.
I love that. I love so good. I love that. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. So for the both of you, talk about that drug of choice. How did you even come to meeting each other and knowing deeply that this is who you're going to spend the rest of your life with?
Yeah. So, it was many moons ago, but we had both, and especially Kaleo, he had been through like heartache prior to us meeting, like to your knees, like just stripped away, raw heartache, right? And I was kind of in a place of, I wasn't really looking for a relationship. I don't know why, but I kind of envisioned myself in living alone by myself in the Hollywood Hills with crystals and maybe a few cats. Like just, I don't know why. I think because, I had written down what I would want in a mate. And as I looked at the list, I remember thinking, like, there is no way that this exists. There's no way that this exists. And I'm really good on my own. I really, I love being on my own, and I'm okay. And if this person doesn't really exist, then I'll just continue on. And then I met Kaleo, and he was one of my best friends. He came over to his house, and as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh God, oh no. It was just like that zing, I'm like, oh gosh. All right. Whew. So I remember running in, I had met him. I was like, oh my gosh, but I didn't let anyone know that I had any feelings towards him at all. I was still going to remain like the independent, strong person that I was. And I remember going for a run on San Vicente in Santa Monica, and something washed over me. It literally, like, I stopped on the corner of 4th and San Vicente, and I literally heard a voice come through and said, if you want this relationship, you have to release him. You have to energetically release him, because I could feel like there was that zing that happened when I met him. And then I could feel like my energetic claws, like I want this. I want to possess this. Like I had never felt that feeling before. And so when that came through, I literally stopped where I was, and I felt his spirit come through me and just whoosh. And I said, I release you. And I like watched it like float up into the sky. I'm like, you are free, my friend. You are free. Like, I will never, I would love this relationship. I would love to be with you or someone like you for sure. But I don't possess you, and I don't need you. I would love it, but it's not, I'm okay on my own, and you are free to be yourself and always. And I think that really was like the foundation of the beginning of our relationship, because we always did that for each other. We never had that like ball and chain, the old ball and chain saying, it never felt like that. It was always like, we're committed to each other 100%, but I want him to have that feeling of freedom, because I want it for myself as well.
Yeah. And on my end, I feel like I needed to go through that heartbreak before, and I needed to do the work of falling in love with myself, because I was looking for something in that relationship that wasn't available. And it took me to my knees, the heartbreak, where I couldn't breathe. Anybody out there who's listening, who you've been through there, I've been there. So I know that experience where I didn't know how to get out of that feeling. And so what I had to do is work on myself. I had to fall in love with myself. And when I made that commitment to fall in love with myself by doing all the spiritual work, by doing plant medicine for some people, by doing the meditation, by doing the yoga, by doing the journaling, by getting in and focusing here, and saying, I need to fall in love with myself and that connection with source, everything shifted. And I realized I will always be 100%. I'm 100% here. And if someone else is coming into my world, they're going to see someone who's 100%, not 50 looking for 50, because that's where we get messed up, because we're looking for something to complete us. No, you're complete, brothers and sisters.
You screwed it up.
We're 100% and worthy and beautiful with our connection to spirit. That's 100. We just have to see it for ourselves. And when we do that, that is beyond attractive to other people. I promise you. You come in with that type of, I love myself, I'm connected, I'm in with, I love myself. That is so attractive to other individuals. And that I needed to go through the heartbreak in order for me to find myself and then find this one. That's how that worked. And when I found her, like you said, she became my drug of choice like that. I was like, oh my God, I need to see her. I need to be around her. I just need to be around. But if it didn't,
on a friendship level, we were just friends for a long time.
For a long time. We became best friends like that. So we were best friends for a minute. And so we had to go through that whole process of loving each other in that way. And then things shifted and transformed, things shifted and transformed into something new. But it was never like, I have to have you in order to complete me. She was complete on her own. I was complete on my own. Now, what it's like synergy, like they talk about the 7 laws of highly successful people. It doesn't, not 1 and 1 doesn't make 2. 1 and 1 makes 2 million, makes 2 trillion, whatever it's going to be, whatever, how spirit guides us. So just letting you know, like the heartbreak was the access. The heartbreak was, and just like they talk about at Rythmia, you had to go through the darkness in order to heal, in order to find that light. That's what I had to do. And so we see that throughout our lives. Where is the darkness? Where is the opportunity to heal? But specifically in regards to the soulmate thing, that's what I had to go through in order to find this one, who is my goddess, my gut drug of choice. We've been together for 22 years. And like I always joke, we were arranged at 1 year old. So, I mean, we're like, 23, 20, No, but seriously, like, 22 years we've been together. And like we say, it hasn't always been rainbows and butterflies. We had to do the work, right? And we came to a point, if any of you guys are listening, contemplated consciously uncoupling, this thing that many people hear about, like, people who we really respect, Michael Beckwith or the Jerry or the Vishen Lakiani, people who are like, we admire these people, and they've decided to do that powerfully. And we thought, is that for us? Because we had come to an impasse, but we found out that that wasn't for us. And we made another choice, and we had to actually go through a process in order to find that healing.
Yeah. And we continue to go through the process. Right. But yeah, we were really at a point in our relationship where we had become just friends, and it was deeper than that. There was like these hurts and these things that were coming up between us that were kind of just, it was a wedge between us, and the wall just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And we came to a point where, like Kaleo said, we were contemplating this, and then we really took an honest ask of ourselves. Is this what we want? And my answer was, hell no. I want to be with this person. And he had the same answer. And so we were like, all right, well, it's time to like take everything that we've been studying and learning all of these years and really put it into action in our own relationship. And when we did, we discovered that we didn't want to consciously uncouple, and we didn't consciously uncouple, but we consciously uncoupled from the story that we were running on each other. And really, when you take a layer deep into that, it's the story that we were running on ourselves. For Kaleo, it was I'm not lovable, stemming from childhood, past life, who knows, there's lots of layers in there too, and for me, it was not good enough, being controlled, the victim. There's a lot in there that had to be uncovered. But once we did, we learned to reauthor that story, and just like, oh gosh, okay, that's where that came from. That's what I've been projecting onto you all of this time. And once we got to that point, we could see each other again. It's like, oh my gosh, there you are. That lens that I was seeing Kaleo, I'll just speak for myself, where I was seeing him was the lens of my past, the lens of my not enoughness, and I was projecting that onto him. And when I could like remove that, it was there, we could see each other once again, you know, and we were back on.
Yeah, back on, and we had incredible makeup sex right there at that, right when we got that all cleared up. I mean, it was like boom, like from not seeing each other to seeing each other completely, and then the intimacy followed
let's
after
talk
that.
about the tools and techniques,
Yeah.
because you know everyone most likely that's watching right now is holding on to a story, right? And my dear shaman Charles Lawrence, he calls it, we carry around our old bones.
Yes. I love that.
And so let's go into the release of the story through the Rythmia way, because each one of you came to Rythmia first and foremost on your own personal vision quest, and then you came together. So as you experienced, I'd love for you to share first your own journey of releasing the old story when you came to Rythmia and that experience. So Meika, would you like to share first?
Yeah, I have a very intimate story of release when I came to Rythmia that really has to do with what part of what was in the way of our relationship, on you know, dealing with sexuality. And so I had this thing prior to going to Rythmia the first time where I was angry at male sexual energy, and I would ignore that, but I would get and you can imagine what that would do to a relationship if you're like, male sexual energy, get away from me. So that I was sitting in the Maloka, you know, sitting with Mama Ayahuasca, and that same kind of feeling came over me of that male energy. And I thought, oh God, I don't want to work on this. And I'm like, all right, let's dive in. So I went into the energy. The energy took me down this path into an ancient lifetime. I mean, it was ancient. I didn't know at the time it was a lifetime. I just was watching this story unfold before my eyes. And I saw this man, and this man was doing horrible things to children. And I was like, why are you showing this to me? I was so angry with Mama Ayahuasca. Why are you showing this to me? This is disgusting. I hate this person. I hate this. Why is this happening? The man looks up, and I have chills right now, and he had my eyes. I was like, oh my God, that at some point was me. And it took me, in that moment, I also got, wow, how far I have come in the evolution of my soul, because I would never even think of that, you know. And so for me, it was so healing to our relationship to go through that. The story was, I was afraid of myself, really, that like anger. I was really afraid of what I was capable of. And when I could see it as like, oh my gosh, there's that story that I've been holding on to about myself and who I am. And on the same note, I could see how far I've come, and to really have compassion for that part of self. And that was all in that Maloka at you know, all kind of happening simultaneously, like the healing of that story, it really got reauthored in that moment, because then I really got to a place where I was, you know, compassionate, like I said, with myself, and understanding like how far I've come, and really releasing the energy to that story. And then I could be with men in a different way. I could be with Kaleo in a different way. It just didn't show up like that anymore. So that's my ayahuasca healing of that particular story.
Yeah, they say that one night of Aya is like 20 years of therapy. So that sounds that night. Right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There's so much healed in that moment. I mean, there's just layers and layers that would probably take me hours to go into of exactly what happened. But that in a nutshell is a big part of what was released.
Yeah.
Wow. And for you, Kaleo?
Wow, there's so much, right? So we're talking about the Rythmia way, right? So when we're looking at that whole thing of show me who I become, you know, heal my heart. Who am I to, who, you know, show me what I'm to be, you know, all of this. There's so many levels and layers when we start to do the work that our conscious mind can only pick up a very small amount of what we can actually say, oh, I need to work on this thing. Because 95% of our actions are based on our subconscious mind. And that doesn't even talk about the infinite amount of layers that we've been through in past lives, or connections to ancestral emotional DNA, or things that we don't even know that we don't know occurred in our childhood that we don't have any conscious relationship to, that are affecting our relationships, like Meika was sharing. Right. So when we're talking about doing the Rythmia way, it's diving in. Number one, allowing the medicine to do its work, but also having a proper setting like Rythmia sets up so incredibly well. And also having a proper mindset when we go in to heal, to transform, to allow what is seeking to be birthed to come through us, like Reverend Michael Beckwith talks about. Being an open, willing channel and vessel. And I've had these experiences there at Rythmia that have just been life-altering, life-changing, that have altered how I go and step into every instance in every moment of my life. So it's not just the relationship. It's relationship, yes, here, but it always starts here. The relationship to ourself is what's going to radiate and emanate out to our relationship with our spouse, with our soulmate, or otherwise. That's why when we go and we have these plant medicine experiences, it's like, trust, believe, have faith, surrender. Trust, believe, have faith, surrender. You go into that maloka with that understanding, trust, believe, have faith, surrendering to whatever the medicine's going to do. Believe me, it's going to shift your relationship with your soulmate or attract that soulmate, but it takes work afterwards, because you can have that impactful experience that shifts everything. That's what we all love, that, right? You go in there like, oh my God, this thing happened. I'm a different person. You're sitting in Maloka, you're glowing. Everybody else is glowing. We love it. And then you go home to your social circles, to your friends, to your family. Even Ram Dass says, you think you're enlightened, go visit your family, right? So we have to understand that the work begins when you get back on that plane, or right after, when you go back to your room. Who are you? Who have you become? What are the insights? How do I integrate that into my life? And that's going to help heal any relationship you have. It's going to help to get you in alignment with the soulmate that you desire. But it really starts here, you know, because conditionally there's things outside of us. There's our work, there's our career, there's our family, there's our city, there's our town. All that stuff's going to be there. But like, we work with some people that are amazing. They say, you know what? I've had this experience. Nothing else has changed around me, but I've changed. Now everything else now changes because of it. And we're like, that's the work right there. Because people might not change around you, but you have the dominion here to make this shift here. And when we reclaim our power, not point outside, my soulmate's not here and it's because of this, or this, my partner's doing this to me. No, when we reclaim and say, I am at the source of my joy, my happiness, my attraction, my manifestation, then we are able to shift everything around us, because our perspective shifts, our energy shifts, who we are, our essence, our beingness shifts. So going all the way back to Rythmia, the Rythmia way, when we go through that process, everything starts to shift within us, and that attracts our soulmate, that attracts those relationships and heals them. Can be immediate, and then you go about doing the work of integrating everything that you learned. And when you do that, man, life just becomes different. It's different. Your vibrancy is turned up. You know, things will occur differently. You're seeing through a different lens, and that's why we love Rythmia. It shifted and changed, transformed everything in our lives. I mean, who we were prior to going to Rythmia as a couple is completely shifted and transformed. Who we are as individuals has completely shifted and transformed, and we can't speak highly enough about it. You know, but again, we continue to do the work. You know, and that's what we always want to let people know. If you're going to Rythmia, yeah, go to Rythmia. Have that incredible, impactful, have that 20 years of therapy. But then what's happening on the 21st year? You put in the work. You're going to be putting in the work. So that's what we want to get everybody related to, is that the work is sacred. It's not something like, oh, I got to do it. No, it's sacred work, man. This is something that we're taking on and saying, these are lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes of things in ancestral emotional DNA. One moment that I had one day, arrhythmia, I cleared, I don't know how many thousands of generations of masculine energy that is just not serving our women for sure, but not serving our planet. I had to be the channel for that. And I'm just one of, like, I don't know how many other people are doing it. I was chosen to do that. But I know how many things that are within this paradigm, within this belief structure, within this energetic field that are just seeking to be healed, seeking to be healed, transformed, and birthed. And that's what's so exciting about this. Working the rythmia way. Thank you, Jerry. If you're listening to this, brother, thank you so much. We love you, brother. And we love all the people who you attract and bring into the fold, because they really, if you haven't been to rythmia and you're listening back to this, just do it. Just make that happen. And again, have that that's a setting, have the mindset that's going in that, hey, I'm here to heal and I'm going to heal, and setting that intention. And then you see, because this is the nature of what we're talking about, watch how soulmate relationships occur, and watch how you become your own soulmate.
Exactly. So on that note of becoming your own soulmate, in order to attract your beloved, I would like to close once again. I'm putting you on the spot, Kaleo, with a song. And I want your song to emanate, to invoke for all of us that invitation to truly connect with yourself, so that whether you're calling in a beloved or you're even just wanting you and your beloved to unite even deeper, that this song that you offer us is a song of prayer to bring us to a closing, knowing that we are all so interconnected. And by us tuning in here, there's a higher vibrational love that brings us and unites us here together in order for us to dance a new dance.
I absolutely love this. And this is being put on the spot. I don't have a song for you, so I'm going to just come with spirit.
Yeah, let it flow. Let it flow.
Just see what spirit has for us. Yeah. Okay. We're talking about love. We're talking about soulmates. We're talking about relationship to ourselves. We're talking about that healing, right?
You're so brave. You're so brave.
We'll see what comes.
Don't be shy, everyone, to move and embody this
Love yourself, love one another, 100%. Love yourself, love one another as yourself. When you love, when you find yourself, when you love, you come back to self. Oh, come back to spirit. Come back to soul. Come back to love. That's it. Come back to self. Come back to love. Just making it up on the spot. Sending love out to everybody. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So beautiful.
So
with wings of devotion, I honor your divine contract that has brought you together to continue to shine your light, to be in utmost service as you continue to change people's lives and sing your song. Wow. Thank you, ones. I love you.
Love you, sister. Yes, love everybody listening back.
Thank you so much for having us on Parashakti.
Absolutely.
Love you
Thank you so much, sister. Have a beautiful rest of your day and a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Bye.